number one in the world in 2005, 2006, 2007, 3 times. And Finca Garrido from Boquete, number one in the world in 2008. So Panama is the smallest coffee producer, but Panama has the gold medals. Now because of the gold medals, a lot of gourmet coffee shops, can I say coffee shop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in Holland it has a different meaning.
Yeah.
You don't find coffee.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, but a lot of gourmet coffee shops are interested in buying the most coffee from Panama. Now we have more demand, more buyers, but less coffee. A lot of coffee farms are gone because of developments. The price for coffee came up. Coffee from Panama is well paid because of the gold medals. We have to sell some of our coffees in auctions. Who pays more? La Esmeralda, the award winners, they sold their best coffee in USA for $130 a pound. $130 a pound. Green beans, unroasted. When the coffee beans are not roasted just before roasting, we call them green coffee beans.
Mm-hmm.
So La Esmeralda, they sold their green beans for $130 a pound in USA. One of the buyers was Intelligentsia Coffee Roasters in Chicago, and Pete's Coffee in California. So they paid $130 per pound. They did the roasting by themselves, and they sold it for $450 a pound roasted. That's the most expensive coffee in the world. It grows in Boquete. It is from La Esmeralda, our competition, but we are also very proud because that's Panama, and we are getting good benefits because of that too. La Esmeralda grows a very good Arabica coffee. It's called Geisha. Geisha is the best of the Arabica coffees. Arabica coffee is almost like grapes for wine, because you grow different types of grapes, like Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauvignon Blanc, Syrah, Chardonnay. We also grow different types of Arabica coffee plants, like Caturra, Catuay, Catimor, Mundo Novo, Villa Sarchi, Pache, Magaro Hippie, Bourbon, Típica Arabica, Pacamara, Java, Yellow Cat, and Arabica Geisha. So the best of the Arabica coffees is Arabica Geisha. It came from a town in Ethiopia. It's called Gesha. So the real name of the coffee should be Gesha instead of Geisha. One man made a mistake, and he wrote Geisha. Now it sounds like Japanese, but it has nothing to do with Japan. It came from the Gesha town in Ethiopia. But that Geisha coffee has the best aroma and the best flavor. You don't have to be an expert in coffee to tell the difference. I know because I could drink it. They sold it from $18 to $27 a cup. But what a smell! It is very delicious. Once you smell it, you are not interested in putting sugar and milk in the coffee, because it is fruity, citrusy, floral, creamy, and very chocolatey in aftertaste. Very nice coffee. If you have 300 little cups of coffee from different growers, one geisha in those 300 coffees, only by smelling you get to know which of them is geisha. Only by smelling. Very nice coffee, but it is very expensive because it's number one in the world. Very expensive because it's good, and very expensive because Panama is the only one country in the world that grows geisha. In Ethiopia, the coffee growers kill the trees. Costa Rica was growing geisha coffee. They killed the trees in Costa Rica too. Nobody wanted to grow geisha because those coffee trees are not very productive. There are less coffee fruits on a geisha tree, and the geisha coffee tree needs more space around. So less trees per hectare, less fruits per tree. Nobody wanted to grow that coffee. Panama is the only one country in the world that grows geisha, and that's why Panama has the gold medal. $130 a pound. Green beans, $450 a pound roasted. That's the most expensive coffee in the world. There is another coffee that's very expensive too. They sold it from $80 to $120 a pound. It grows in Indonesia, in Sumatra. Where in Sumatra, some animals eat the fruits. Animals eat the coffee fruits, but they don't break the coffee beans. So once they drop it, the people take the beans, they wash it, they dry, they roast it, and they sell it for from $80 to $120 a pound. But that coffee is eaten by animals first. Yeah, they say that's the real organic coffee, and eco-friendly. And the other coffee is quite expensive. Is Jamaica Blue Mountain, $40 per pound. Jamaica Blue Mountain, $40 per pound for roasted beans. And then Kona coffee from Hawaii, $20 a pound for roasted beans. Those are the most expensive coffees in the world. Panama has the geisha, $130 a pound. Green beans, $450 a pound roasted. So Panama, Boquete grows the most expensive coffee in the world. So you already know Panama is not just a canal. Panama is much more than just a canal. You already know that. Do you know which country grows the most coffee in the world? The other fruits. They eat the other plants and they leave the coffee tree alone. We don't like to kill anything is growing around the coffee trees, even the weeds, because they hold the soil when it rains. It prevents erosion. We also like to keep the tallest trees in the farm, the very tall trees in the farm, because we love to see birds in the farm. It is very important for a coffee farm to have birds. We have never seen birds eating coffee, but we have seen a lot of birds on the coffee trees eating the insects. So they eat the insects. They don't eat coffee. And we also grow a lot of castor beans in the farm. Castor bean, this plant down here, looks like a star, the leaves. That's castor bean. Have you heard about castor oil? It is coming from that plant. But every part of that plant is toxic. It is very poisonous. If the insects eat the leaves, insects die. They also get nitrogen from the air, and they fix nitrogen into the soil like legumes. Wow. They grow taller than a coffee tree, so they provide some shade. And that's why we also grow a lot of castor trees in the coffee farm. And that's why the farm looks like a forest. We know this is what people don't expect to see, but this is what we like to do. It really works. That's why we have a lemma. You understand lemma? In England, they say motto. Every company has a motto. Like a
lemma?
A slogan. Yeah, like a slogan. So in Spanish it's lema. Our lema says, it is everyone's job to protect God's creation. It is everyone's job to protect God's creation, and that's why our coffee farms are eco-friendly. Eco-friendly because there are more than 40 different trees in the farm besides coffee, more than 60 pounds of oxygen per day per hectare. Birds stay in the farm. Birds eat insects. Insects go to the other trees, to the other fruits. They provide shade. It prevents erosion. Some of the trees are natural insecticide, natural fertilizer, and that's why it's called eco-friendly, ecological friendly. Now we're going to pick some coffee this way. They look red. They look red when they are ripe, but every coffee fruit on one coffee tree is not red at the same time. We have seen on one coffee tree green coffee fruits, red coffee fruits in between green and red, even flowers on one coffee tree. So we only come to pick the ones that are red. We leave the green ones on the trees, and we keep coming back every 2 weeks. Coffee is a fruit. Many people have never seen a coffee tree in their life. Sometimes they expect to see the brown coffee beans on the coffee trees, already roasted. Yeah, but coffee is a fruit. The picking season in Boquete starts in October. Every year we start picking coffee in October, and we stop picking coffee in March. So it takes 6 months, because every fruit is not ready to pick at the same time. We already started to pick coffee in this farm about 8 weeks ago, and we already picked coffee from this farm about 4 times, and the trees are still loaded. They still have coffee. So the pickers, they just pick the green ones. They pick the red ones. They leave the green ones on the trees, and they keep coming back every 2 weeks. Every coffee fruit is picked by hand, and if you are a coffee picker, you also have to twist the fruit to take it off. If you don't twist it, you break the stems, and the next generation is coming from the same stems. If you break the stems, it takes for the coffee tree 5 years to replace it. If it rains too much, it gets fungus by that way too. So the first step in the coffee process is hand-selected picking. We have about 600 coffee pickers in Café Ruiz right now, 640 coffee pickers. 85% of the coffee pickers are indigenous. They are native Panamanians. They don't live in Boquete. They live in the mountains in between Bocas del Toro and Chiriquí province. Now they are in Boquete because of the coffee season, and that's why it is easier for you to see a lot of women in the colorful dresses.